So what are we going to do today? So today we will start with the introduction on what is going to be the main subject of our course, which is basically transnational companies or multinational companies, as you prefer. The chapter of the book that I'm going to discuss today is chapter one. The title of the chapter should be exactly the title of this class, so evolution and concepts. And basically, what we will try to do is, as I said, is a very general introduction. So we will give some definitions. We will specify some important concepts. We will have also a look at some data that characterize the subject of our analysis, and we will conclude with some discussion about differences between international portfolio and foreign direct investments, which, as you will see, will be the main results of our discussion today. This introduction was conceived at the beginning to be held on a Friday, because that was the original calendar that I had in mind before knowing all the lockdown due to the COVID and stuff. So it was supposed to be given on Friday when we have more hours. In particular, we have 3 hours mainly. So it's a long class. So of course, since I'm giving it today, I will split it into two. So we'll have a first part today, mainly with definitions, and a second part early on Friday with more discussion about empirical data that are related to foreign direct investments. Okay. What is the plan of today, and what is the plan of our class on Friday? So today we will first try to, as I said, my classes will be mainly focused on one subject, which is multinational companies. Okay, so I didn't say that, but if there is any problem with the discussion, I mean with my communication, if you don't hear anymore, if I'm speaking too fast, just write in the chat. Okay, sometime I will just go to the chat to check if there are problems. But of course, if you have very important things to say, you can just switch on your microphone, and just say what you want to say. Anyway, so let's go back. So, as I said, the main subject of our analysis is multinational companies or transnational companies. So today we'll try to define, first of all, what is a multinational company. Second, we will try to characterize multinational companies and define the dimensions along which they seem to be different with respect to non-multinational companies. Then we will discuss the main important conceptual difference that is relevant for our course, which is the difference between direct and foreign direct and portfolio investments. Okay, this is the plan for today. On Friday, we will deal with the last two bullet points in this list, which is an analysis of data with respect to the evolution over time of merger and acquisitions and greenfield investments. Both aspects, as we will see, can be related to multinational companies. And finally, we will discuss different modalities of international operation by transnational companies. Okay, so today will be mainly about definitions and discussion and general discussions. On Friday, we will have a look more at empirical data that help us to have a better idea of what multinational companies do, and then also a discussion about how they operate at the international level. So the first point, as I was saying, is to define what a multinational company is. So let's start to see if we can have some sort of interaction. So do you have an idea of what a multinational company is? So if you had to define a multinational company, again, you can use the chat, or if you want, some of you can also switch on the microphone and speak to everybody. So what is, according to you, the main characteristics of a multinational company? So what is it that differentiates a multinational company with respect to non-multinational companies? Any idea? Anybody wants to try? Those who are brave enough can just switch on the microphone and speak. Those who are not brave, no, I'm joking. So just to see if we can sort of have a little bit of an interaction at least, so that it makes to do this streaming makes more sense if we can have some sort of interaction. So any of you wants to try? Okay, so Nicolas says it's a company which works in different countries at the same time. Okay, what do you mean by works? So for instance, let me specify it better. A company that operates, okay, so for instance, a company that is selling products to China. Selling products to China. Is it a multinational company or not? According to you? I don't think so, Nicolas says. Okay, why? Of course, anybody can try. There is no right or wrong answer. So it's just we're just trying to see if we can come up all together with a sort of an idea. So why Nicola don't you don't think that a company selling product to China is a multinational company? Anybody else wants to try to have to give an idea? To have an idea? Or better, anybody else has an idea, wants to try to give an answer? Okay, Alan. Oh, yes. Sorry, say it again because there was a bit confused the communication. So you are saying okay with the sales you say no different states I understood, but you are saying with the say with selling goods in different states or with essence. Okay, okay. Niccolo, yes, you can speak if you want. Okay, so you are saying no, okay, it's okay. It's okay. So I got your point. So the point of Niccolo is well, so which is in part an answer to what Jacopo is saying. Jacopo is saying, I think that a multinational company is a company which trade not only in home country but with foreign countries. Niccolo is saying, well, not that according to Niccolo is not true. Not because you need something more to be a multinational company. If you are just a company who is selling product abroad, meaning selling product or services in a different country, does not necessarily mean that you are a multinational company. You are simply an exporter. Okay, you are simply a company selling products in different countries. But as long as your production is concentrated in a single country, at least this is my understanding of Nicolo's argument, you are not a multinational company. Okay. Do you agree with Nicolo? Somebody doesn't agree, wants to say something different? Okay, Nicolo agrees with Nicolo. No, yes, Nicolo, it's okay. My understanding, it's okay. Okay, it's not yes. You agree with yourself because I think that you agree with yourself. But anyway, so no. Anybody else wants to say something about this? Do you agree with Nicolo's argument? Do you have a different opinion? Chiara says a multinational company is a company that has productive activity in more countries, which is in line with, I think, what Nicolo was saying. Uh, Anybody else? Anyway, so that Nicolo's argument is correct. Okay, so it's actually that is the main characteristics of a multinational company. Then this is only, of course, this is not enough to have a clear idea of how we can identify a multinational company, especially when we talk about empirical evidence, which we need to have a measure that help us distinguishing this is a multinational company and this other firm is not a multinational company. We are not there yet, but at least theoretically we already have a clear point which distinguish when a company can be when a firm or a company can be classified as a multinational one, and when a company instead needs to be classified as a non-multinational company. And the main distinction is whether production is carried out in one or more countries. A multinational company is a company that is producing goods in different countries. The same company producing shoes in Italy as well as in Romania, as well as in China, as well as in the United States. Okay? So the clear point is about production, not just trade. We can, and actually in Italy we have a lot of non-multinational companies that are exporter. Okay, they sell products everywhere in the world, but just selling product abroad does not mean that your company is a multinational company. Okay, now, of course, multinational companies are not new; they've always existed. If you apply this definition, we can go, and of course they always existed, and they have always belonged, they've always been involved into different sectors. For instance, one of the first multinational company ever was the Bank of Medici. Was it an Italian company? Was of course involved in the financial sector, and it was basically a bank that was mainly based in Italy, but that opened several branches in other different countries in Europe. So in that sense, it was basically a transnational company that was offering directly in the market, but with direct operation in different countries, was offering financial services to consumers spread around Europe, but was not doing this operating from Italy at that time. That could not be possible because, of course, we didn't have the kind of communication infrastructure that we have today. At that time, in order to offer financial services, you had to be physically in the area that you wanted to serve, and for that reason, the Bank of Medici had actually an organization that could be considered one of the first transnational companies in history. Then, of course, there are all the kind of colonial companies. So the Hudson Bay Company, the East India Company, all the companies that belong to the British Empire that were basically companies where the main operation were so they were mainly UK company. Okay, so the owners of the company were from the UK, but these companies were basically monopolizing trade activities with people actually operating there. So again, the production of the service was actually in the foreign country. They were operating across different countries. Okay, mainly in countries that they were part of the British Empire. Okay, so of course they've existed since long time. Recently, and we will have more evidence about that in our class on Friday. Recently, they have, of course, become even more common and widespread across different countries and sectors.